Hello. Welcome to the Story Corner. It's story time. Oh, my camera looks really fuzzy. Here, let me clean it. Sorry. Is that better? Maybe? I don't know. It's not great. Don't have a great camera. Don't have great lighting. It's just me sitting in the corner on my laptop. Um, but I do love story time and I do miss all my all grown up children who live thousands of miles away. So we do story time. And if they can, they hop on here and we spend a few minutes together in the evenings, and it's a lot of fun. Um, excuse me. We started Anne of Green Gables, and I read 1.5 chapters, and then my baby was too sad, so I ended up only reading half of the second chapter. So we'll finish that, and then maybe probably start the next one. But here comes the baby. He's a stinker. I had a tray of cookies, and he took a hold of each one and took a bite out of each cookie, and they were so good too. And now they all have like one bite out of them. It's something I've never tried before, but it's a recipe I use all the time. But I changed it up and I made them into chocolate with a little bit of peppermint. So they're chocolate mint, real mild chocolate mint cookies with white chocolate chips in them, and they were so stinking good. Holy cow, yummy! I'll be making those again. Anyway, and he took a bite out of all 5 cookies on the tray. He's a stinker. What are you doing? What are you doing? Such a little helper. It's getting so big. He got sunburned really bad, and then every time anything hit his skin on his head where he's sunburned, it would just peel off and ooze and blisters. And so he has all these he looks like he got all beat up. He looks sad. Scraped his nose. He looks like a little boy. It's not a baby anymore. When it comes to your poor little sad face that looks all beat up. Yeah, see? He looks rough. Poor little guy. Anyway. What is that? Anyway, before we get started, just for fun, what did you have for dinner? Put it in the chat. I like to know what people cook, what they're making. I like the ideas. I made a pasta salad, but it had tons of veggies in it, and imitation crab, and then penne pasta, and it was yummy, like so good. It was really good. And then I'm gonna just cut up some fruit after I'm done here, and we'll just have a little bit of fresh fruit before we go to bed. I might make a dip to go with it, but yeah, we're just quite simple. I had 2 meetings today. There's always meetings. I had 2 big meetings yesterday, and then 1 big meeting today. Well, actually, I only had the one, but it was kind of one and then a little one right after those kind of, okay, we're done with the big meeting. Can I talk to you for a minute? You know what I mean? Anyway, so yeah. And then I have another meeting tomorrow. So, and then an event this weekend. So yeah, I'm busy, crazy all the time, but I wasn't sure I was going to have time to read, but here we are. I thought, you know what, let's just go do it. So I don't know how much we'll get done, especially because he just pulled my bookmark out. No pumpkin. He loves this book for some reason. Don't lose my plate. You're such a pumpkin. Look, do you want to show off? You want to show? Oh, it's so pretty. Oh, look, he's showing him to you. That's so cute. You're so adorable. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay, so I do not know if I've showed you these ones before. Oh, you want to show those ones? They're lips, but I put these little really soft peachy pink heart glitter kind of thing, confetti almost, in them. So it's these tiny little peachy pink hearts side, so they're kind of sparkly. They're cute. And then these are just some little green hearts, and then they have little sparkly. Come on, turn the right way. There we go. Little white diamond gems down across the bottom. They're transparent. So you can see. Oh my goodness, you just want to show those off. Okay. And then these are the lips with the little tiny hearts in them. I don't know how well you can see, but those are kind of cute. People like the lip stuff for some reason. Lips are a thing. Then we'll do one more tiny one because it's sitting here. These are really small ones, but they're really cute too. I guess I'm on a green kick. And these have the little black kind of gem things across the bottom. You can see that. So they look really kind of lined with the black. They're cute. Oh, here's another pair sitting right here. I guess we'll show off for it. So here's a pair of earrings. They're the little bears that look like gummy bears. These look like chocolate or butterscotch or something. I don't know. But they're cute. Okay, so we showed off our stuff, and now we're going to read. Let's get to it. So we were right in the middle. She was riding with Matthew in the carriage, and he hasn't told her that they're supposed to get a little boy because he just can't do it. It's going to break her heart. He's taking her home to Marilla. He's going to let Marilla do it. And so she's just a jabbering, and he actually kind of enjoys it, which is a shock of his life because he's the shyest guy ever. Okay. Oh, and then she said she can never be perfectly happy because she has red hair. We'll just go back a paragraph or two. So she asks Matthew, "Is there a brook anywhere near Green Gables? I forgot to ask Mrs. Spencer that." "Well, now, yes, there's one right below the house." "Fancy. It's always been one of my dreams to live near a brook. I never expected I would, though. Dreams don't often come true, do they? Wouldn't it be nice if they did?" "Oh, you're so wiggly. But just now I feel pretty nearly perfectly happy." "I can't feel exactly perfectly happy because, well, what color would you call this?" She twitched one of her long glossy braids over her thin shoulder. "Well, you said you wanted to get down." "I love you, baby." Right. You just want Mama's full attention all the time. You're so. She twitched one of her long glossy braids over her thin shoulder and held it up before Matthew's eyes. Matthew was not used to deciding on the tints of... You're going to make it hard, aren't you? Was not used to deciding the tints of ladies' tresses. What? He's trying to make me stand up. He's pulling on me. Stand up. Be nice. Be soft. Look soft. Oh, soft. Oh. Soft. Be soft. Hey, look. Did you say hi? You're such a pumpkin. He's so tired. He needs to be sleeping. Did you even say hi? Look. Did you say hi? Say hi. Don't be grumpy. What are you doing? Here, do you want to show off these ones? It's a little bear. Do you want to show those ones? What's that? Oh, they're so cute. Yeah. It's a little bear. Are you going to be happy while I read? You're going to play with your ball? You want your little blue ball? Oh, they're so cute. It's a bear. Ta-da! No. Ball. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, he's just kicking it. He's such a boy. Just kicking the crap out of it. Okay. "It's red, ain't it?" he said. The girl let the braid drop back with a sigh that seemed to come from her very toes and to exhale forth all the sorrows of the ages. "Yes, it's red," she said resignedly. "Now you see why I can't be perfectly happy. Nobody could who had red hair. I don't mind the other things so much." "Where's your ball? Where is it? Where is it? Go get it. Go get it. Where's your ball?" "I don't mind the other things so much. The freckles and the green eyes and my skinniness, I can imagine them away. I can imagine that I have a beautiful rose leaf complexion and lovely starry violet eyes. But I cannot imagine that red hair away. I do my best. I think to myself, now my hair is a glorious black as the raven's wing. Yeah, he's a handful. But all the time, I know it is just plain red, and it breaks my heart. It will be my lifelong sorrow. I read of a girl once in a novel who had a lifelong sorrow, but it wasn't red hair. Her hair was pure gold, rippling back from her alabaster brow. What is an alabaster brow? I never could find out. Can you tell me? Well, now, I'm afraid I can't, said Matthew, who was getting a little dizzy. He felt as he had once felt in his rash youth when another boy had enticed him on the merry-go-round at a picnic. Well, whatever it was, it must have been something nice because she was divinely beautiful. Have you ever imagined what it must feel like to be divinely beautiful? Well, now, no, I haven't, confessed Matthew ingenuously. I have often. Which would you rather be if you had the choice? Hey, do you want it to stay? Be sweet. Divinely beautiful or dazzlingly clever or angelically good? Let it fall. It just won't stay up. You want it to stay up here? There, it'll stay right there. Oh, do you want it? You can take it. Just be nice. Ask nice. Here you go. Ta-da. There. Oh, where'd it go? He's gonna make. Oh, hey, don't tip my stuff. Which would you rather be if you had the choice? Divinely beautiful or dazzlingly clever or angelically good? Well, now, I don't know exactly. Neither do I. I can never decide, but it doesn't make a real difference, for it isn't likely I'll ever be either. It's certain I'll never be angelically good. Mrs. Spencer says, "Oh, Mr. Cuthbert! Oh, Mr. Cuthbert! Oh, Mr. Cuthbert!" That was not what Mrs. Spencer had said. Neither had the child tumbled out of the buggy, nor had Matthew done anything astonishing. There it is. They had simply rounded a curve in the road and found themselves in the avenue. Katie, you're such a handful. You're such a busybody. What am I going to do with you, huh? What am I going to do with you? Here, you want this? The avenue, so called by the Newbridge people, was a stretch of road 400 or 500 yards long, completely arched over with huge, wide-spreading apple trees, planted years ago by an eccentric old farmer. Overhead was one long canopy of snowy, fragrant bloom. Below the boughs, the air was full of a purple twilight, and far ahead, a glimpse of painted sunset sky shone like a great rose window at the end of a cathedral aisle. Its beauty seemed to strike the child dumb. She leaned back in the buggy, her thin hands clasped before her, her face lifted rapturously to the white splendor above. Even when they had passed out and were driving down the long slope to Newbridge, she never moved or spoke. Still, with rapt face, she gazed afar into the sunset west, with eyes that saw visions trooping splendidly across the glowing background. Through Newbridge, a bustling little village where dogs barked at them and small boys hooted and curious faces peered from the windows, they drove, still in silence. When 3 more miles had dropped away behind them, the child had not spoken. She could keep silence, it was evident, as energetically as she could talk. I guess you're feeling pretty tired and hungry, Matthew ventured at last, accounting for her long visitation of dumbness with the only reason he could think of. But we haven't very far to go now, only another mile. She came out of her reverie with a deep sigh and looked at him with the dreamy gaze of a soul that had been wandering afar, starled. "Oh, Mr. Cuthbert," she whispered, "that place we came through, that white place, what was it?" "Well, now, you must mean the avenue," said Matthew after a few moments' profound reflection. "It is kind of a pretty place." "Pretty? Oh, pretty doesn't seem the right word to use, nor beautiful either. They don't go far enough. Oh, it was wonderful, wonderful. It's the first thing I ever saw that couldn't be improved upon by imagination. It just satisfied me here." She put one hand on her breast. "It made a queer, funny ache, and yet it was a pleasant ache. Did you ever have an ache like that, Mr. Cuthbert?" "Well, now, I just can't recollect that I ever had." "I have it lots of times, whenever I see anything really beautiful. But they shouldn't call that lovely place the Avenue. There's no meaning in a name like that. They should call it, let me see, the White Way of Delight. Isn't that a nice imaginative name? When I don't like the name of a place or a person, I always imagine a new one and always think of them so. There was a girl at the asylum whose name was Hepzibah Jenkins, but I always imagined her as Rosalia de Vere. Other people may call that place the Avenue, but I shall always call it the White Way of Delight. Have we really only another mile to go before we get home? I'm glad and I'm sorry. I'm sorry because this drive has been so pleasant, and I'm always sorry when pleasant things end. Something still pleasanter may come after, but you can never be sure. And it's so often the case that it isn't pleasanter. That has been my experience, anyhow. But I'm glad to think of getting home. You see, I've never had a real home since I can remember. It gives me that pleasant ache again just to think of coming to a really, truly home. Oh, isn't that pretty?" They had driven over the crest of a hill. Below them was a pond, looking almost like a river, so long and winding was it. A bridge spanned it midway, and from there to its lower end, where an amber-hued belt of sandhills shut it in front of the dark blue gulf beyond. The water was a glory of many shifting hues. "Get your muffin." The most spirit. But you're so tired. I was kind of hoping he was going to go to sleep before because he's so tired. Oh, you are wet. Are you soggy? Did you sit in something? His diaper's not full, but he's just wet as can be. Where did you get the water? I'll find a way, I'll tell you that. Oh, a bridge spanned it midway, and from there to its lower end, where an amber-hued belt of sandhills shut it in front of the dark blue gulf beyond, the water was a glory of many shifting hues, the most spiritual shadings of crocus and rose and ethereal green, and other elusive tintings for which no name has ever been found. Above the bridge, the pond ran up into fringing groves of fir and maple and lay all darkly translucent in their wavering shadows. Here and there a wild plum leaned out from the bank like a white-clad girl tiptoeing to her own reflection. From the marsh at the head of the pond came the clear, mournfully sweet chorus of the frogs. There was a little gray house peering around a white apple orchard on a slope beyond, and although it was not yet quite dark, a light was shining from one of its windows. "That's Barry's pond," said Matthew. "Oh, I don't like that name either. I shall call it, let me see, the Lake of Shining Waters. Yes, that is the right name for it. I know because of the thrill. When I hit on a name that suits exactly, it gives me a thrill. Do things ever give you a thrill?" Matthew ruminated. Well, now, yes. It always kind of gives me a thrill to see them ugly white grubs that spade up in the cucumber beds. I hate the look of them. Oh, I don't think that can be exactly the same kind of thrill. Do you think it can? There doesn't seem to be much connection between grubs and lakes of shining waters, does there? But why do other people call it Barry's Pond? Why, I reckon because Mr. Barry lives up there in that house. Orchard Slope's the name of his place. If it wasn't for that big bush behind it, you could see Green Gables from here. But we have to go over the bridge and round by the road, so it's near half a mile further. Has Mr. Barry any little girls? Well, not so very little either, about my size. He's got one about 11. Her name is Diana. Oh, with a long indrawing of breath. What a perfectly lovely name. Well, now, I don't know. There's something dreadful heathenish about it, seems to me. I'd rather Jane or Mary or some sensible name like that. But when Diana was born, there was a schoolmaster boarding there, and they gave him the naming of her, and he called her Diana. I wish there had been a schoolmaster like that around when I was born then. Oh, here we are at the bridge. I'm going to shut my eyes tight. I'm always afraid going over bridges. I can't help imagining that perhaps just as we get to the middle, they'll crumple up like a jackknife and nip us. So I shut my eyes. But I always have to open them for all when I think we're getting near the middle, because you see, if the bridge did crumple, I'd want to see it crumple. What a jolly rumble it makes. I always like the rumble part of it. Isn't it splendid there are so many things to like in this world? Hey, hey, don't rip it. Don't rip it. No. Don't rip the books. We take care of the books. Be nice to them. There, we're over. Now I'll look back. Good night, dear lake of shining waters. I always say good night to the things I love, just as I would to people. I think they like it. That water looks as if it was smiling to me. When they had driven up the further hill and around a corner, Matthew said, "We're pretty near home now. That's Green Gables, or—" "Oh, don't tell me," she interrupted breathlessly, catching at his partially raised arm and shutting her eyes that she might not see his gesture. "Let me guess. I'm sure I'll guess right." She opened her eyes and looked around her. They were on the crest of a hill. The sun had set some time since, but the landscape was still clear in the mellow afterlight. To the west was a to the west a dark church spire rose up against a marigold sky. Below was a little valley, and beyond a long, gently rising slope with snug farmsteads scattered along it. From one to another the child's eyes darted, eager and wistful. At last they lingered on one away to the left, far back. Hey, what you doing? Far back from the road, dimly white with blossoming trees in the twilight of the surrounding woods. Over it, in the stainless southwest sky, a great crystal white star was shining like a lamp of guidance and promise. "That's it, isn't it?" she said, pointing. Matthew slipped the reins on the sorrel's back delightedly. "Hey, don't bend them. Be nice to the books. How come you're being—" He's usually pretty careful. He loves books, and he'll go get a book and come out on the couch and flip through every page and point at stuff on it, and then he'll go put it back. Like, he loves them. He's just feeling kind of grumpy tonight, huh? You silly baby. Well, now, you've guessed it, but I reckon Mrs. Spencer described it to you so she could tell. No, she didn't. Really, she didn't. All she said might just as well have been most of those other places. I hadn't any real idea what it looked like. But just as soon as I saw it, it felt like it was home. Oh, it seems as if I must be in a dream. Do you know, my arm must be black and blue from the elbow up, for I pinched myself so many times today. Every little while, a horrible, sickening feeling would come over me, and I'd be so afraid it was all a dream. Then I'd pinch myself to see if it was real. until suddenly I remembered that even supposing it was only a dream, I'd better go on dreaming as long as I could, so I stopped pinching. But it is real, and we're nearly home." With a sigh of rapture, she relapsed into silence. Matthew stirred uneasily. Poor guy. Can you imagine? He felt glad that it would be Marilla and not he who would have to tell this waif of the world that the home she longed for was not to be hers after all. They drove over Lynn's Hollow, where it was already quite dark, but not so dark that Mrs. Rachel could not see them from her window vantage, and up the hill and into the long lane of Green Gables. By the time they arrived at the house, Matthew was shrinking from the approaching revelation with an energy he did not understand. It was not of Marilla or himself he was thinking, or of the trouble this mistake was probably going to make for them, but of the child's disappointment. When he thought of that rapt light being quenched in her eyes, he had an uncomfortable feeling that he was going to assist at murdering something, much the same feeling that came over him when he had to kill a lamb or calf or any other innocent little creature. The yard was quite dark as they turned into it, and the poplar leaves were rustling silkily all around it. "Listen to the trees talking in their sleep," she whispered as he lifted her to the ground. "What nice dreams they must have." Then, holding tightly to the carpet-bag which contained all her worldly goods, she followed him into the house. Okay, that's chapter 2. Let's see how long chapter... No, it's not too long. Let's just do it. Chapter 3. Marilla Cuthbert is surprised. Marilla came briskly forward as Matthew opened the door, but when her eyes fell on the little figure in the stiff dress with the long braids of red hair and the eager, luminous eyes, she stopped short in amazement. "Matthew Cuthbert! Who's that?" she ejaculated. "Where is the boy?" "There wasn't any boy," said Matthew wretchedly. "There was only her." He nodded at the child, remembering that he had never even asked her name. "No boy? But there must have been a boy," insisted Marilla. "We sent word to Mrs. Spencer to bring a boy." "Well, she didn't. She brought her. I asked the station master, and I had to bring her home. She couldn't be left there, no matter what the mistake had come in." "Well, this is a pretty piece of business," ejaculated Marilla. During this dialogue, the child had remained silent, her eyes roving from one to the other, all the animation fading out of her face. Suddenly, she seemed to grasp the full meaning of what had been said. Dropping her precious carpet-bag, she sprang forward a step and clasped her hands. "You don't want me?" she cried. "You don't want me because I'm not a boy. I might have expected it. Nobody ever did want me. I might have known it was all too beautiful to last. I might have known nobody really did want me. Oh, what shall I do? I'm going to burst into tears." Burst into tears she did, sitting down on a chair by the table, flinging her arms out upon it, and burying her face in them, she proceeded to cry stormily. Marilla and Matthew looked at each other desperately across the stove. Neither of them knew what to say or do. Finally, Marilla stepped lamely into the breach. "Well, well, there's no need to cry so about it." "Yes, there is need." The child raised her head quickly, revealing a tear-stained face and trembling lips. "You would cry too if you were an orphan and had come to a place you thought was going to be your home and found that they didn't want you because you weren't a boy. Oh, this is the most tragical thing that ever happened to me." Something like a reluctant smile, rather rusty from long disuse, mellowed Marilla's grim expression. "Well, don't cry any more. We're not going to turn you out of doors tonight. You'll have to stay here until we investigate this affair. What's your name?" The child hesitated for a moment. "Will you please call me Cordelia?" she said eagerly. "Call you Cordelia? Is that your name?" "No, it's not exactly my name, but I would love to be called Cordelia. It's such a perfectly elegant name." "I don't know what on earth you mean. If Cordelia isn't your name, what is?" "Anne Shirley," reluctantly faltered forth the owner of that name. But oh, please do call me Cordelia. It can't matter much to you what you call me if I'm only going to be here for a little while, can it? And Anne is such an unromantic name. Unromantic fiddlesticks, said the unsympathetic Marilla. Anne is a real good, plain, sensible name. You've no need to be ashamed of it. Oh, I'm not ashamed of it, explained Anne. Only I like Cordelia better. I've always imagined that my name was Cordelia. At least I have always have of late. Uh, at least I always have of late years. When I was young, I used to imagine it was Geraldine, but I like Cordelia better now. But if you call me Anne, please call me Anne spelled with an E. What difference does it make how it's spelled? Asked Marilla with another rusty smile as she picked up the teapot. Oh, it makes such a difference. It looks so much nicer. When you hear a name pronounced, can't you always see it in your mind just as if it was printed out? I can, and ANN looks dreadful, but ANNE looks so much more distinguished. If you'll only call me Anne spelled with an E, I shall try to reconcile myself to not being called Cordelia. Very well then, Anne spelled with an E. Can you tell us how this mistake came to be made? We sent word to Mrs. Spencer to bring us a boy. Were there no boys at the asylum? Oh, yes, there were an abundance of them, but Mrs. Spencer said distinctly that you wanted a girl about 11 years old, and the matron said she thought I would do. You don't know how delighted I was. I couldn't sleep all that night for joy. Oh, she added reproachfully, turning to Matthew, why didn't you tell me at the station that you didn't want me and leave me there? If I hadn't seen the White Way of Delight and the Lake of Shining Waters, it wouldn't be so hard. What on earth does she mean? Demanded Marilla, staring at Matthew. You're so tired. You're so tired. She's just referring to some conversation we had on the road, said Matthew hastily. I'm going out to put the mare in, Marilla. Have tea ready when I come back. Did Mrs. Spencer bring anybody over besides you? Continued Marilla when Matthew had gone out. She brought Lily Jones for herself. Lily is only 5 years old and she's very beautiful. She has nut brown hair. If I was very beautiful and had nut brown hair, would you keep me? No, we want a boy to help Matthew on the farm. A girl would be of no use to us. Take off your hat. I'll lay it and your bag on the hall table. Anne took off her hat meekly. Matthew, oh, he's almost asleep. Oh, he's so sweet. Matthew came back presently and they sat down to supper, but Anne could not eat. In vain she nibbled at the bread and butter and peeked at the crabapple preserves out of the little scalloped glass dish by her plate. She did not really make any headway at all. You're not eating anything, said Marilla sharply, eyeing her as if it were a serious shortcoming. Anne sighed. I can't. I'm in the depths of despair. Can you eat when you are in the depths of despair? I have never been in the depths of despair, so I can't say, responded Marilla. Weren't you? Well, did you ever try to imagine you were in the depths of despair? No, I didn't. Then I don't think you can understand what it's like. It's a very uncomfortable feeling indeed. When you try to eat, a lump comes right up in your throat and you can't swallow anything, not even if it was a chocolate caramel. I had one chocolate caramel once, 2 years ago, and it was simply delicious. I've often dreamed since then that I had a lot of chocolate caramels, but I always wake up just when I'm going to eat them. I do hope you won't be offended because I can't eat. Everything is extremely nice, but still, I cannot eat. It's okay, baby. You're so tired. I know you. I guess she's tired, said Matthew, who hadn't spoken since his return from the barn. Best put her to bed, Marilla. Marilla had been wondering where Anne should be put to bed. She had prepared a couch in the kitchen chamber for the desired and expected boy. But although it was neat and clean, it did not seem quite the thing to put a girl there somehow. But the spare room was out of the question for such a stray waif, so there remained only the east gable room.
Marilla lighted a candle and told Anne to follow her, which Anne spiritlessly did, taking her hat and carpetbag from the hall table as she passed. The hall was fearsomely clean. The little gable chamber in which she presently found herself seemed still cleaner. Marilla set the candle on a three-legged, three-cornered table and turned down the bedclothes. I suppose you have a nightgown? She questioned. Anne nodded. Yes, I have two. The matron of the asylum made them for me. They're fearfully skimpy. There is never enough to go around in an asylum, so things are always skimpy, at least in a poor asylum like ours. I hate skimpy night dresses, but one can dream just as well in them as in lovely trailing ones with frills around the neck. That's one's consolation. Well, undress as quick as you can and go to bed. I'll come back in a few minutes for the candle. I don't trust you to put it out yourself. You'd likely set the place on fire. When Marilla had gone, Anne looked around her wistfully. The whitewashed walls were so painfully bare and staring that she thought they must ache over their own bareness. The floor was bare too, except for a round braided mat in the middle, such as Anne had never seen before. In one corner was the bed, a high, old fashioned one, with four dark, low turned posts. In the other corner was the aforesaid three-cornered table, adorned with a fat red velvet pincushion hard enough to turn the point of the most adventurous pin. Above it hung a little 6 by 8 mirror. Midway between table and bed was the window with an icy white muslin frill over it, and opposite it was the washstand. The whole apartment was of a rigidity not to be described in words, but which sent a shiver to the very marrow of Anne's bones. With a sob, she hastily discarded her garments, put on the skimpy nightgown, and sprang into bed, where she burrowed her face downward into the pillow and pulled the clothes over her head. When Marilla came up for the night, various skimpy articles of raiment scattered most untidily over the floor, and a certain tempestuous appearance of the bed were the only indications of any presence save her own. She deliberately picked up Anne's clothes, placed them neatly on a prim yellow chair, and then taking up the candle went over to the bed. Good night, she said a little awkwardly, but not unkindly. Anne's white face and big eyes appeared over the bedclothes with a startling suddenness. I love you, baby. How can you call it a good night when you know it must be the very worst night I've ever had? She said reproachfully. Then she dived down into invisibility again. Marilla went slowly down to the kitchen and proceeded to wash the supper dishes. Matthew was smoking, a sure sign of perturbation of mind. He seldom smoked, for Marilla set her face against it as a filthy habit. But at certain times and seasons he felt driven to it, and then Marilla winked at the practice, realizing that a mere man must have some vent for his emotions. Well, this is a pretty kettle of fish, she said wrathfully. This is what comes of sending word instead of going ourselves. Robert Spencer's folks have twisted that message somehow. One of us will have to drive over there and see Mrs. Spencer tomorrow, that's certain. This girl will have to be sent back to the asylum. Yes, I suppose so, said Matthew reluctantly. You suppose so? Don't you know it? Well, now, she's a real nice little thing, Marilla. It's kind of a pity to send her back when she's so set on staying here. Matthew Cuthbert, you don't mean to say you think we ought to keep her? Marilla's astonishment could not have been greater if Matthew had expressed a predilection for standing on his head. Well, now, no, I suppose not. Not exactly, stammered Matthew, uncomfortable, driven into a corner for his precise meaning. I suppose we could hardly be expected to keep her. I should say not. What good would she be to us? We might be some good to her, said Matthew suddenly and unexpectedly. Matthew Cuthbert, I believe that child has bewitched you. I can see plain as plain that you want to keep her. Well, now, she's a real interesting little thing, persisted Matthew. You should have heard her talk coming from the station. Oh, she can talk fast enough. I saw that at once. It's nothing in her favor either. I don't like children who have so much to say. I don't want an orphan girl, and if I did, she isn't the style I'd pick out. There's something I don't understand about her. No, she's got to be dispatched straight away back to where she came from. I could have a French boy to help me, said Matthew, and she'd be company for you. I'm not suffering for company, said Marilla shortly, and I'm not going to keep her. Well, now, it's just as you say, of course, Marilla. And Matthew, rising and putting his pipe away, I'm going to bed. To bed went Matthew, and to bed, when she had put her dishes away, went Marilla, frowning most resolutely, and upstairs in the east gable, a lonely, heart-hungry, friendless child cried herself to sleep. Oh, okay. Well, that was the chapter, and we got it done. And he went to sleep. So, hey, all is well. All right. Well, thank you for coming, for stopping by the Story Corner. I hope you enjoyed story time. Make sure to leave a like. Oh, already did. Leave a like on the video, and we'll do story time again tomorrow. Aw, I love you guys too. Miss you so much. Sorry I didn't read last night. My meeting went until after 8 o'clock, and then I made dinner after 8. And we ate and we're cleaning up, and it was so late, and I was so tired, and I was like, oh, I just can't do it tonight. So, but we'll miss you too. Oh my goodness, I miss you guys so dang much. Just every day, miss you 1,000 times. We went to the beach the other day. Well, we did the event. Oh, I told you about it. We did the event and it got canceled, and we were close to the beach. So I was like, Charles said, well, we better go home and I better work because our event got canceled. And I said, okay, too bad we can't just go to the beach. And he just got in the car and just went straight to the beach and just said, you need this. You need the time. And then he stayed up all night to work because he's a sweetie. Anyway, it was so fun. But every time I'm at the beach, all I can think is, I just wish you guys were there because I don't know, it's kind of our theme, you know? Anyway, miss you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Sweet baby. All right, well, we will pick up tomorrow, chapter 4. And you need a walk on the beach. And it's getting hot, my heck. It was almost 90 degrees today. So, the sooner the better because it gets so humid and so hot. And right now it's still fairly nice. But yeah, it was hot enough that he got sunburned. So yeah, you want to come soon. Love you guys. Can't wait to see you. Hope it's very soon. Talk to you probably tomorrow. Love you so much. Good night. Oh, well. My goodness. Well, I thought I was going to end it, but I don't even know what happened. I can't find the end button. Caden fiddled with it and I lost all my controls. We'll figure out a way. Little sweetie. Such a handy little helper, aren't you? You're such a handy little helper. Caused so much trouble. There we go. We found it. Good night.